Bon bah... Oups, tant pis. C'est pas grave. C'est pas grave. On va partir avec eux. Nous avons ici un terminal. Insérez le badge d'identification du capitaine pour initier l'atterrissage à distance. Ah, par contre, j'ai du mal à comprendre cet ascenseur. Voilà, c'est ça que j'avais pas vu la dernière fois. Bon bah, c'est bon, je comprends beaucoup mieux cet ascenseur. Finalement, c'est pas plus mal que ma dernière session soit coupée au montage, parce que c'était assez ridicule. D'activer l'ascenseur soit par là, soit par là. Alors par là, j'y arrivais parce que ça descendait, mais par là, en fait, j'activais là, mais j'arrivais pas à remonter, forcément, hein, pour des raisons évidentes. Mais j'avais loupé ça à chaque fois. Bon, ce sont des choses qui arrivent. Alors je sauvegarde ici, genre j'ai fait une vraie grosse sauvegarde. Hein, je suis un petit peu traumatisé maintenant, donc... Voilà. Voilà, parce qu'ici, là, il y avait environ 10 cadavres. Hein. Il y avait des cadavres partout et du sang partout. Mon Dieu.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in.
Ouais, signons.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
Oui, tout à fait, oui. Ça a l'air de vous surprendre.
You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
Qu'est-ce qu'elles font?
You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic. Us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Ok. Moi, je suis Alex Hawthorne.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
Vas-y, fais-toi plaisir. Hein. Ce n'est pas ce que je m'attendais à trouver sur Monarch.
Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Vous dites que le conseil ment sur cet endroit?
Oh, sure. It makes Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell. Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though.
D'accord. Stellar Bay est si isolé que ça?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook.
Ouais, je suis vaguement au courant.
Thank the
Ouais.
stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
Bon bah je vais me balader en
Mr.
ville.
Sandra will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do
Bon, alors ton accueil était pas forcément incroyable, il était correct, il était très bien, mais de là de dire incroyable... quel est le service que tu veux que je te rende?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
C'est qui le trou noir?
That's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest tossball hackers ever.
I wonder if he's kin. Dad had family that worked for Rizzo's. I never got to meet them.
Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You've been living in a sulfur pit or something?
Tu deviens désagréable là, jeune homme. Dis donc. Non, mais pourquoi on le surnomme le trou noir?
On account of him being the best hacker who ever played, nothing gets by him. He sucks up every ball that comes his
Et il
way.
les avale, genre il les gobe. Ok, c'est tout ce que j'ai besoin de savoir.
Whatever you say, I could talk tossball for hours.
Ah, mais j'ai pas des heures devant moi. Hein. Ce poster a l'air d'avoir de la valeur.
Couldn't really say I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the
Des
less
sous-sous.
valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around by more than a few people by now.
Pas pour autant qu'elle perde de la valeur. Bien, je vais me renseigner.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Ça marche. Alors je vais commencer mes petites fouilles en faisant attention à pas me faire remarquer. Dans le coin il n'y a personne. Hein. Ici c'est fermé. Je commence à connaître un peu les lieux maintenant. Mais mine de rien on va gagner un temps fou du coup sur les fouilles. Bonjour. Ça fait drôle de les voir vivants et surtout non hostiles. Ah, je vous jure, j'ai vraiment galéré à essayer de trouver une solution, hein, parce que je voulais pas tout refaire. Mais bon, pas le choix.
Every time the punch clock peals, a worker earns his meals.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I thought you were quoting It's a Wonderful Directorate.
Sam, tu es flippant un peu des fois. Hein. Faut pas coller les gens comme ça. C'est pas parce que t'es un robot que tu peux te le permettre, hein, tu sais. C'est gênant.
Laws. Can't a man enjoy the smooth menthol flavor of a stogie slim in peace?
Vous avez du culot pour un homme qui ne fait absolument rien.
What I am doing, sir, is enjoying the moment. It's so rare that I can seize one apart from the jabbering masses of this wretched place.
De quoi vous parlez?
This law's forgotten town. Cut off from the rest of the colony. Removed from any culture. I recall when Stellar Bay was a proper board-affiliated town with regular shipments of Auntie Cleo's best and all the cereals. Before Sanjar took over MSI and got us all booted.
Le bon vieux temps vous manque, hein.
Days of consumption and culture. When we weren't squabbling with the iconoclasts for lack of better things to do. Look, you're making me melancholy. Is there something you wanted?
Moi je vous laisse. Hop, je fais un petit tour à l'arrière-boutique. Clac. Là, ici, c'est pas intéressant. Là, personne ne me voit. Hop, hop. Plusieurs phrases ont été entourées. Pile entre les deux yeux. Il y en avait 3. Non. 4. Ce rap petit était gros comme ça. J'ai descendu d'une seule balle. Eh, tu me payes un verre? C'est les bingo des brefs de comptoir de Nyoka. Ah, Nyoka. Ah, il m'a vu. Vas-y, parle-moi, c'est pas grave si tu m'as vu. Voilà. J'allais partir. Voilà. Et ça, c'est justement ce qui n'avait pas pu être fait, parce que j'étais en hauteur et l'autre n'avait pas pu me parler. Et là, c'était le drame. Catastrophe.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger.
Cool, merci.
Enjoy. If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
Il vaut mieux que je prenne un peu d'avance
I
alors.
could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
Vous connaissez bien Nyoka?
Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka. On account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you?
Vous avez dit que vous ne voyiez pas souvent de nouvelles têtes par ici.
Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the iconoclasts or some such.
Pourquoi cet endroit s'appelle le Yacht Club?
Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all.
Bah alors vous devriez réparer cette enseigne qui fait peine à voir dehors.
Ah, don't be so negative. It's what's on the inside that counts.
Ah mais tu as dit toi-même, la pub compte.
Speaking
Hein.
of, you look like you could use a bottle with something good in it.
Ok, bon c'est tout pour l'instant. Nyoka, voilà, bah c'était elle qui voulait ma mort aussi, hein. Dans un futur alternatif.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding all over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you?
Qui êtes-vous?
Name's Nyoka. I'm the best big game hunter on the planet.
You're also the loudest big game hunter on the planet. And the drunkest.
Sûrement parce que c'est la seule aussi. Hein.
Shut the fuck. Fair point. I deserve it though, on account of being the best.
My dad always kept his firearms and liquors in different lockers. Said it wasn't safe to mix them.
Ah, un homme plein de sagesse.
Out here, if you ain't a little buzzed, you're liable to notice the stench of life. The grit in the air. The dust in every drink and the blood on every boot.
Je voulais éviter de dire mon nom, mon vrai nom et mon vrai prénom. Je voulais éviter de le faire tout à l'heure. Bon, ravi de vous rencontrer, Nyoka. Je m'appelle Carl Mills.
Ooh, charmer.
Ta-na-na-na.
Don't get a lot of that around here.
Tout
Folks
toi.
mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you?
Qui est ton coiffeur? Est-ce que c'était vraiment la couleur que tu voulais? C'est vrai, j'ai pas vu de coiffeur. Ah si, attendez, à Edgewater, il y avait un coiffeur, je crois. C'est le coiffeur légiste médecin. Offrir un verre. Ah non, je garde ma thune, moi. Je vais rester pour papoter, mais je pense que vous avez déjà assez bu.
Another in a long line of damn fools trying to cut me off. I'll buy my own poison then.
Oh, tu te le payes si tu veux, oui.
What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger?
Je cherche un informateur. On m'a dit que vous pouviez m'y emmener.
Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business.
Yes, let's
I'm
talk
headed back out
business.
there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head.
T'es sérieuse là? Vraiment? Mais qu'est-ce qu'il te faut?
Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set.
D'accord. Bon, tu veux juste de la caféinoïde en fait, c'est juste un stimulant.
Well, they work. We got a deal or what?
You won't find a better deal in Halcyon than our special one-time offer for a refurbished sanitation unit. Remember, if it's dirty, it's a job for Sam.
What in the... That thing talks?
Ah oui, fais pas attention, c'est Sam. Ça m'aide à rester propre. Enfin bref, je vais aller chercher ces médocs. Ça m'aide à rester propre. J'ai ma douche qui me suit. Bonjour vous. Excusez-moi. Alors, est-ce que vous rentrez? De toute façon, personne ne peut me voir d'ici. Hop. Coucou.
New face, huh? You from off-world?
Bien vu. Exact, je suis Hawthorne de l'imposteur.
A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome.
Eh ben encore quelqu'un qui offre un verre.
Sit a spell in the
Deuxième qu'on m'offre. Hein.
By the smell, he's been reveling enough for you both already.
Ah mais c'est pas grave tant qu'il m'offre un verre moi. Et qu'est-ce que vous fêtez?
Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking.
Et qu'est-ce qui s'est passé pour que vous quittiez vos postes?
It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor Velma goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay.
Et oui, il s'avère que les négociations, ça me connaît.
I wouldn't doubt it. You look like the type who tends to come out on top. Not like us cogs, trying to be the squeaky wheel but just getting deadlocked.
Ah, vaut mieux que ça me réussisse, parce que quand ça me réussit pas,
Velma won't even hear us out.
les conséquences sont
You
lourdes.
could just make her listen to our demands.
Je négocierai en votre nom.
You would do that? We sure are lucky you decided to come up to the patio today. I knew drinking up here would be good for more than the view.
On doit parler de Velma.
Sure thing. What did you want to discuss?
Je veux tout savoir. Vous pouvez vous permettre de ne pas travailler pendant combien de temps encore?
Not forever, but we've each saved up our bits, and I stashed them safe in my home by the diner. I reckon we could last a week or two at least.
Voilà, bon, en fait, c'était quand j'avais volé ce coffre-là que c'est parti en vrille. Des suggestions pour inciter Velma à négocier?
If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better.
Ouais, je vais essayer.
The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no proof they're true.
Bah, je chercherai. Si jamais j'ai des preuves, je la ferai chanter. T'inquiète pas pour ça. C'est pas toi qui l'as fait chanter, c'est moi donc. Bon. Alors, c'est quoi cette histoire de chantage?
I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma's taking a cut off the profits. So far, it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon.
Toi, t'as juste à te soucier des résultats que je vais te donner. Moi, je m'occupe de la méthode. Et on s'entendra très bien. Les motifs. La méthode, enfin la personne que tu emploies, ça te regarde. La méthode que j'emploie, ça me regarde. Ensuite, ici, nous allons parler à Sébastien.
Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in Raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails? You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts?
Et qu'est-ce que j'en ferais?
I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe I was onto something.
Mr. Pickett? Franklin Pickett from Edgewater?
That's him. He'd been here years, but he always talked about going back to Edgewater one day.
Bon, ça a bien changé maintenant, hein. Il sera surpris, hein. Parvati, vous savez de qui il parle?
Sure. Mr. Pickett used to run the community center outside Edgewater. He had this grand idea to make it a museum for halcyon life.
Oui, on y était passé au musée
As my
d'ailleurs.
dad
Hein.
told it, Mr. Pickett was always going on about getting a manta queen for the last display. He left the Vale, gosh, years ago.
C'était un peu
He came to
délabré.
Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters. Manta queens, especially.
Vous avez vu une montre égalienne?
Sure, they're real big. Hard to miss them.
Et où est-ce que tu l'as vu?
Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett, but I haven't seen him in a few weeks. To tell true,
Ah,
I'm starting to
opération
get
de
a bit worried
sauvetage
about
alors.
him.
Captain, can we look for him? I'd feel awful if somebody from home was in trouble and we didn't do nothing.
Bien sûr qu'on va l'aider, bien
Tell you
sûr.
what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. Help him out if he's got himself in
Ah oui,
trouble.
mais c'est une fausse condition, bien sûr que je vais l'aider. Si c'est un ami de Parvati, je vais le faire.
Thanks, Captain.
Même si ça l'était pas, à vrai dire, mais bon.
Leave town through the southern gate, the one right here, and head past the abandoned ruins. Last Mana Queen I saw was in the wilds out that a ways. Could be Mr. Pickett still out there too.
Au sujet de Mr. Pickett.
Yeah, you find him yet?
Non, pas encore. Vous savez où il pourrait être?
I sent him past the ruins just south of town. He was hunting for a Manta Queen out there.
Ça, on le savait déjà finalement. Ok, ça marche. Ça, non, j'ai pas fouillé. Là, il y a du monde. Ah oui, il y a elle qui est paniquée.
Sir, please, I need your help. Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a Raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
Il est en train de fondre le petit. Votre fils a disparu? C'est quand la dernière fois que vous l'avez vu? Ah non, j'avais mis ça, je me souviens. Calmez-vous, respirez un bon coup et dites-moi ce qui s'est passé.
Don't you tell me to calm down. I promised my boy I'd protect him for always.
Ah, il faut l'attacher, ce petit gars là.
He's run away. He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned
Quelques
him
jours,
about
ok.
the raptidons, mantisaurs and marauders, the toxic sulfur pools and poisonous glands, but he didn't listen.
C'est vrai que ça fait beaucoup de danger quand même.
Oh, law, Captain. A youngster won't last long in a place like this. Please.
Après, il est déjà peut-être probablement mort, hein. Vu tous les dangers. Et si c'est vraiment petit. Vous avez dit qu'il y aurait une récompense pour ce service rendu?
Well, I guess I can't ask you to leave the town walls for free. It is deathly dangerous out there.
Oui.
I've got some bits saved up for a rainy day. I'll give you every last one if you just bring my Tucker back to me. I won't even be mad at him running off. You tell him I won't be mad.
Ouais, je lui dirai. Mais pourquoi est-ce qu'il se serait enfui?
He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have listened to his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe here with me.
Où a-t-il pu aller?
He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boys run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a manta queen hasn't spooled out and eaten his entrails for breakfast already.
Il est probablement dévoré. Alors, il a été fondu dans de l'acide, il a été dévoré, probablement, ok. Bon, en tout cas, il est très certainement mort, quoi, a priori. Vous disiez quoi à propos des iconoclastes?
Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting. Like it's noble to risk it all out there, fighting for the greater good. How noble is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. But still they preach their sermons of anarchy and rebellion to anyone who'll listen. If they weren't holed up in Amber Heights, I'd knock them all upside the head.
Ok, c'est où Amber Heights?
That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse, the thought of my son shacking up with the nutty iconoclasts, or that he never made it. Sprats could be nesting in his rotting body alongside the road as we speak.
Il est toujours dans la surenchère.
Pulled all his teeth out, crushed him into their drugs and made him snort them. Oh, the things that could
C'est vraiment
happen to
ignoble.
my sweet baby.
Madame, vous avez beaucoup trop d'imagination par contre. Hein. Je vous aiderai à retrouver votre fils.
Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home.
Enfin, calme-toi parce qu'il peut arriver plein de choses apparemment quand même. Hein.
It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Là, je suis en train de me demander, on a déjà vu des enfants dans le jeu? Je crois qu'on a vu que des adultes. Hein.